Hello, everyone. I'm Languagehacker. I'm going to be talking about the core set today because it's a pretty cool new thing that Blizzard announced a while ago now. But today, they've actually released all the cards that are going to be in the core set, at least for the year of the Griffin. Question mark? Griffin. So we're going to go over all these cards. Just as a quick preface, the core set is going to be cards that are available to everyone as long as you have enough experience in game. As you just play naturally, you gain experience and it levels up your... Most people should have it, but it's good for new players. Basically, it's good for existing players. Very good thing to have. And then throughout the entire year, these core cards will be available to people to use for free. And this core set will rotate every year, so there could be a different core set the year after the year of the Griffin, where same thing, a selection of cards will be picked that will be available for use for the whole year, that will also be free, and so on and so forth. And you will get these automatically added to your collection based on the levels of the classes you have played. So very cool feature. That's a whole other spiel, though. Here I just want to talk about all the specific cards that have been shown and what this means, at least for the year of the Griffin. So yeah, let's dive right in. All right, let's start with Demon Hunter because that's the first one that shows up. Battle Fiend, nothing crazy here. Sounds good. A little bit of aggression, unchanged. Crimson Sigil Runner, unchanged. Good. I think this design's pretty nice, so it's nice to have it flexible throughout the whole year. Chaos Strike, cool. Nothing changed here. Feast of Souls, nothing changed. This wasn't really seen, so maybe this makes way for some different play styles as new cards get in. This is a new one. Corvus Bloodthorn, 2 mana, 2/2. Charge Lifesteal. After you play a card with Outcast, return this to your hand. So this is kind of like a shitty head crack, was my initial take on this. I don't want to say shitty head crack because it's, head crack is a beautiful card. I don't know, this seems kind of okay. This doesn't seem busted. This could be repetitive damage, which I think is fine. It's not super crazy aggressive repetitive damage. It heals you as well, which is also very nice. It has to be an Outcast card. It's not just a card on the left or the right, like the Altruist text, for example. So you are pretty limited by what you're doing in terms of how often you can proc this, right? You're limited by how many Outcast cards you have. Ganar Glavesmith. RNG audio? Yeah, tell me about it. 3 mana, 3/2 Demon. Outcast, give your hero +3 attack this turn. This seems fine. Not a super heavily statted minion. It gives you some extra attack. I like this design. And let me explain why I like this design more than something like Still Stepper. I get the whole idea of Demon Hunter doing damage with a lot of stuff they're doing, and this supports that without needlessly giving them card draw that they don't need. So this is nice. I think if this was if this was Still Stepper, I would have been much happier. It's not, but anyways, this card seems kind of cool. I don't hate this. Ashton Battlelord, we've seen this. It hasn't been changed. I think that's fine. I mean, this has never really seen play anyways, but maybe with the rotation, this might fit into some slower Demon Hunter decks. I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to see Control Demon Hunter anyways, but we'll see what pops up. Fel Screamer, yep, sounds good. Same thing. Chaos Nova, same thing. They've changed it to Fel. This has come back now. Warglaives of Azanoth, 5 mana, 3/3. This was initially 5 mana, 3/4. Then it got nerfed to 6 mana, 3/4, and now it's 5 mana, 3/3. Ildar Inquisitor, 8 mana, 8/8. Big Demon Hunter. Rush, also, after your hero attacks an enemy. This attacks it to enemy, including enemy hero, not only enemy minions, so this is interesting. So if you have a weapon pre-equipped, jam this on 8, hit him in the head, bam. Cool, well that's Demon Hunter core set. I guess we can talk about it as a whole. Bit of flexibility, a bit of reach, a bit of lifesteal. It seems okay, which I'm kind of happy. If they put Skull in here, I would start screaming on Twitter. Let's move on to Druid. Innervate, unchanged, but it makes sense. You want the ramp. Pounce, this is interesting. I kind of like it as well. Raven gives you some beast energy, some early aggression. Maybe we run the... I mean, is Fungal... I can't remember if Fungal Fortunes is in or not. I should really know what's rotating, but there's just so many cards. Anyways, good for an aggro base, good for a beast base. Mark of the Wild, give a minion taunt and +2/+3, so this is buffed a little bit. Maybe you do run some sort of curved Druid. It's possible. This will be better off Discovers now as well. Power of the Wild, same. Feral Rage they've brought back, and it's the same. I kind of like this, the choose one stuff. Feral Rage is a pretty good card. Reach versus armor, not both, obviously. So it's a more limited Moon-Touched Amulet, which I think is fine. Bit of armor gain is not too bad. There's some healing right now in Druid, but not a crazy amount. I feel like sometimes you can just get smoked down, so this helps a little bit. I mean, if you have the space to run that anyways. Landscaping, couple of tree and stuff. Again, fitting more of a curve token. Sure, it's fine to have that in there. Growth, unchanged. Well, unchanged from what we know it as. 3 mana, sure. Nordrassil Druid, 4 mana, 3/5. Battlecry, the next spell you cast this turn costs 3 less. Interesting. So this is kind of like... I'm trying to figure out how you do this. Yeah, it's kind of like a 1 mana 3/5. But you can't really use it like Lunar Eclipse, for example, right? You can't on turn 4 play this and Overgrowth. If you're doing this with Overgrowth, you'd have to be doing it on turn 5, which is worse because you'd rather have just ramped earlier. So it's very rarely going to give you 3 mana unless you just perfectly have... Unless you, let's say you top deck Nourish on your 7 mana turn, then you could go Nordrassil Druid, Nourish, right? Soul the Forest, same, untouched, gives you a token, yep, helps the token thing. Druid of the Claw has changed. Except they haven't updated this. Okay, kick W. 5/4 with Rush, or 5/6 with Taunt. So they took charge off of this, but they give it 5 attack. And they changed it to 5 mana, 5/6 with Taunt. So a bit of a buff here. Yep, Force of Nature, summon 3 2/2s. Menagerie Warden. So this was brought back. This used to be a 6 mana 5/5. Now it's a 5 mana 4/4. So reduction in mana cost. Tune down the stats a little bit. I think this is probably fine. Like you absolutely could run some sort of curve Beast Druid. You'll notice that Roar isn't in the set, which a few people in chat have pointed out. Okay, so you have less finishing power, I suppose. You still have buffs, Power of the Wild, Soul of Forest, make your board sticky. But you have, at least from what I see here, less finisher. Cenarius is back in. We'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, it was never out, but it's also here is what I'm saying. So maybe there's just less closing out burst damage that they've pivoted towards. We'll see. Yep, Swipe's gone. Swipe wasn't really running that many Druid decks, honestly, as of late anyways. Nourish, gain 2 or draw 3. Yep, same. Ancient of War. Sure. Gives you some stuff to ramp into in the base set. Cenarius has been changed to 8 mana from... It used to be 9 mana 5/8, and it's the same thing. Give your other minions +2/+2 or some 2/2 as a taunt. So maybe this becomes more of like what mid-range old Druid used to feel like. Alright, let's go to Hunter. This is... I'm curious how they're going to shake this up. Ooh, I see some interesting cards. Okay, Arcane Shot. Sure, fine. Lock and Load. This is interesting. So this used to be a card. Obviously, it's not in now, but it will be now in the core set. 1 mana Lock and Load. Each time you cast a spell this turn, add a random Hunter card, not a spell, to your hand. So this, paired with a bunch of cheap spells, might... Maybe you just run this as a one-of, as some extra gas later. I don't know if Hunter is going to be viable, but we'll, I guess, see. With this being 1 mana will add some refillability to the class when they run out of gas, if they have spells left. Tracking, discover a card from your deck. This is different. Do you still draw the card from your deck? That's the other question. I think historically when we've done this, you've... Actually, no. Is this like Shadow Visions? You actually draw it. Okay. Yeah, this is probably better than... Cool. Web Spinner, add a random beast card to your hand. Yeah. Explosive is the same. Freezing is the same. Headhunter's Hatchet is the same. I kind of like this, honestly. It looks like Eagle Hornbow's not here. I really actually kind of like this. There's not that many 1 mana beasts that we can see right now, but I felt like this was a more reasonable weapon. The bow seemed a little... The bow is either garbage or really good. And this seems just a more, like, streamlined sort of this is fine. They've added spell schools to spells. So they can be categorized based on specific schools of magic. This is obviously fire. This is frost. You'll see it later in Mage and some other stuff too. Druid is nature. They don't have any balance stuff here. Balance would be Moonfire or Swipe or something like that. Anyways, and restoration would be like Healing Touch. Maybe not living roots, crystal power would also probably be restoration. But basically schools of magic that you can classify spells under. Right now, I don't see too many utility for the classification, but I imagine there will be some cards that have something like your fire spells cost 1 less when this is in play, or maybe they could do something like that to not, you know, have it buff all the spells, but maybe they can buff specific school types and have you build specific decks around a specialization like Fire Hunter or, you know, Nature Mage. Obviously that doesn't work because Mage won't have nature and Hunter won't really have fire, but as an example. Quick Shot, as it was before, I think this is fine as well. Pretty solid card. Glad they brought it back to the core set. Hyena, kind of poop. It looks like Tundra Rhino's out, so you can't do Dire Frenzy. So Scavenging Hyena used to be in the Dire Frenzy Tundra Rhino deck, and Tundra Rhino does not seem to be here, so that makes the Scavenging Hyena much worse. You can still buff it on curve with Dire Frenzy, get a few more in your deck. Cult, Master's Call is also not here, so that, again, it doesn't probably matter that the Hyena is here. It's probably not going to see play in its current state. Selective Breeder, Battlecry, 2 mana 1/1. This is new. Discover a copy of a beast in your deck. So this is a copy. So if it is buffed from, let's say, Dire Frenzy, you could discover a copy from this. My issue with this is that it seems a little slow. So in general, the card is good in what it does. The problem is it's a little slow, and maybe that's just with the meta we're in right now. Maybe that changes. Dire Frenzy used to be a bit of a slower deck. The thing is that it did have finishing potential. You could kill your opponent with like Tundra Rhino plus high statted charge minions because of the Tundra Rhino and the Dire Frenzy buff applied to other beasts. With the charge out, Stone Tusk Boar is in, so I guess that's something that's worth noting. You could shuffle Boars in and maybe discover more. Maybe there's some sort of OTK there. Timberwolf isn't in either, interestingly enough. Bear Shark, pretty good, solid. You'll probably see this played. Deadly Shot stays in the core set, seems fine. Dire Frenzy brought in. This adds a bit of, I don't want to say flexibility, but more ways to play Hunter instead of just face. It's just, I'm not quite sure how this will turn. It just seems a little slow. The buff is fine. Shuffling the Beasts in are fine, but we have this as tutoring. We don't have Master's Call, and that's probably just not good enough. I guess tracking changes a little bit in that sense too, because you can discover and draw it. High main, yep, solid, like it. Crush, sure, fine. So Hunter got some okay tools. Bear Shark, Quick Shot, Hatchet, all pretty good. Lock and Load, probably not good, but the mana change, maybe you have some. I mean, you don't even have that many cheap spells, though. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not good enough even at 1, but maybe we'll try that. Tracking got buffed. You probably still run this. I don't know. I'm not... Hunter doesn't seem great. It got better. Well, I mean, did the core set get better? Arguably not, actually. Companions out, too? Yeah, no. Hunter looks poop. Mage. Babbling Book. Oh, yay. I'm so happy this is back in the game, Kappa. Okay. God fucking damn it. Okay. Shooting Star. I really like this being in the game, and this is this probably ends up replacing Arcane Explosion in Spell Damage Mage, because generally you don't explosion 7 minions. You generally just want 3, and this makes it better with Sork, and even without Sork, it's just cheaper. So XD. This seems pretty solid. I'm glad this is back in. Snap Freeze got changed to 1 minion. Freeze a minion if it's already frozen, destroy it. At 1, you might actually... I mean, you probably don't play it, but you could play this in the sort of Freeze Mage type deck. This is basically Ray of Frost, right? Except you don't have the Twin Spell, and if it's already frozen, it kills it. So it's a card you have to kind of combo with something else if you want to actually destroy minions. Otherwise, it's 1 mana freeze a single minion, and it can't freeze face either. So it's probably still pretty bad. I don't know. Archaeologist, I like that this is in. Adds, I think this in the core set is fine. This used to be one of the best cards in the game, Archaeologist. Curve into a secret, good for Highlander if Highlander still exists. Good for just Secret Mage as well if we're running Kirin Mages again, if we're running Game Master, if we're running all that stuff. If we're running Occult, Conjurer. Really like that this is there. Cool. Fallen hero. Your hero power deals 1 extra damage. This is fine. I really am kind of hesitant, or not hesitant. I'm kind of doubting this will see play. This card's not bad, but it's more of an arena card than anything else. It'll dilute the pool for like Font of Power and whatnot. I don't know if you would actually run this in your deck. It's basically 2 mana, deal an extra 1 damage with your ping. Yeah, I don't think so. But cool that it's there. It's a 3-2. Maybe you need some more tempo, fine, whatever. AI, unchanged, good. I mean, I'd be surprised if they took out AI. Conical got buffed. This can now be discovered off of Magic Trick. Font of Power rotates. Okay, well, I'm going to have you guys tell me that because I don't know them all. Conical being 3. Interesting. We probably have to play this if Nova doesn't exist anymore. Counterspell. Whenever, yep, same. Yep, same. After, yep. So that's all the same. Couple of base secrets. I think, honestly, these are 3 fine ones. Couple of disruption ones and a defensive option, and obviously you can rotate other secrets in based on other sets you have planned. So I think this is a solid set of 3 to have in the core set. I like this. Fireball, it's the same. Water Lily, the same. Honestly, these 2 probably make sense. Frostbolt is out, so you lost some of the other freeze. Wow, they cut down on a lot of freeze, honestly. Interesting. Anyways, happy with most of these. Egwin the Guardian. 5 mana, 5/5. Spell damage +2. Death Rattle. The next minion you draw inherits these powers. This is fucking insane. Ooh, baby, spell damage mage. Ooh, I'm shivering. This is actually insane. So Frostbolt's out. That's something to keep in mind. It looks like Missiles is out as well. So some of the reach you get is definitely going to be reduced, which is kind of weird. Now, guys, you have to think about this in the context of the core set, right? Missiles is gone, Frostbolts is gone, so the extra spell damage seems really nutty, and it probably is still really good. I mean, this effect is insane, especially on a nicely statted minion. The only problem is that you don't have as much of a burn game plan. A lot of damaging spells are removed. This card is still really good. But with some of the burn spells removed, it means it probably won't be that oppressive. So that's kind of cool. I really like this card. A design like this is really interesting. And you know it's not going to be busted because when you read this, you saw my first instinct. My first reaction was like, what the fuck? This is insane. But, again, context. A lot of the burn spells are out. Conjure, 5 mana, 6/4. This used to be a 5 mana, 6/3 battle card, discover spell. Excellent. We have to pay mana to get random spells. Thank you. Thank you. Kappa. But yes, I like this. This being back is quite good. I like this. Cool. Koldar Drake, buff, 6 mana, 6/7. You can use your hero power any number of times. Okay. I mean, I guess you could do like Koldar Drake, Fallen Hero stuff. I don't think Hearthstone, with the current state of Hearthstone's power level, I don't think we're ever going back to Koldar Drake, Fallen Hero shenanigans. But maybe if there's some way to, I don't know, get Raza or something, maybe this works. Ogre, yeah. Flame Strike, 5 damage to all minions instead of 4, so a bit of a buff there, same mana cost. I'm liking this mage set. You lost some power. Blizzard's gone. Nova's gone. Arcane Explosion got kind of replaced with Shooting Star. I like this a little bit better, though. The Shooting Star feels a less blowouty. Paladin. Avenge. Same. Sack. Same. Reckoning. After an enemy minion deals 3 or more damage, destroy it. Now, does this looks pretty solid. Does this, I wonder if this counts repetitive damage. For example, if your opponent has a Silverhand Recruit and it attacks 3 times, will the 3rd attack trigger this, or does it only count in 1 damage intervals, i.e. in like 1 swing if you deal 3? You still take the damage. It's like a targeted Flame Ward on a specific minion. Righteous Protector, I like that they brought this back in. It also helps with, I imagine, some other buffs they might have. Protector got buffed to a 3/2. That's actually a pretty big deal. There's not that many 1-drops you have that you want to Divine Shield, but having this in a deck might honestly be fine. Holy Light got... Is Healing Touch a joke to you? Pursuit of Justice Give +1 attack to Silverhand recruits you summon this game. So that's future, like, okay. So this is kind of like the Lithraxian, the redeemed effect, that for the rest of the game, your recruits, when are summoned, get +1 attack. Now, just tell me just the card. Prage, don't spoil it for me, chat. I haven't seen the neutral cards yet, but please, just the card. Come on, just the card. Okay, this looks pretty solid. Again, power level is going to be a little smaller after rotation, so some of these cards, even though they seem like grindy and slow, might be playable if the power level's small enough. Peacekeeper, solid card to include. Equality, change back to 3. Well, not back to 3, it used to be 2, but 3 seems fine. Equality did seem a little unplayable at 4, quite frankly, so this is fine. Warhorse Trainer got buffed. This used to be 3 mana 2/4. So more hero power synergy. I think this is fine. Good statted minion. It's a spider tank. Cool. Probably playable. Kings is the same. Consecration is the same. True Silver is the same. Standing against Darkness. This seems fine, especially... So this is Summon, which also counts for Pursuit of Justice because this is Summon, not hero power. Cool. Seems fine. Again, slow, but it depends how the meta will be. This got buffed a little bit. Probably still not playable. I mean, again, if we were really struggling to put 30 cards in the deck, maybe we play it. Tyrion is the same. Yep, Iconic makes sense. It has Taunt now. What is Taunt now? Am I stupid? Oh! I am stupid. Okay, that's more playable. Yeah, Taunt on this is actually a big deal. Yeah, maybe we do run this in like a Control Paladin. Cool, okay. I kind of like it. I really did like Control Paladin back in the day where you just outvalue people with just the card. Cool. I'm excited. Let's look at Priest, guys. Crimson Clergy. 1 mana 1/3. Pog. After friendly character is healed, friendly, gain +1 attack. Yeah, I don't think this gains attack if you heal yourself and you're full. So it is a little, it's a little conditional. Flash heal. Oh, dude, I miss this so much. I very vividly remember playing Emperor Thorsan in Control Priest, where my top end was discounted Valen, discounted Auchenai, double Flash Shield, and then like what else was there? There was something else by itself without Auchenai or Embrace the Shadow. Probably not good. Silence a minion and give +3 health. This is insane. I did see one card in the neutral set, Humongous Razor Leaf. So maybe Silence Priest is back. Interesting. You rarely want to use this on your opponent's minion because you do want to silence stuff, but you probably don't want to buff it as well. So this will likely be more friendly targetable, but you can use it to silence an enemy minion if it's a problem. This is probably okay. Smite, deal 3 to a minion. It's the same. Conjurer. I kind of like this. This is akin to Babbling Book. Gives you a little bit of early tempo, not a whole lot, and you get some value. This is fine. This seems fine as well. Death is the same. Shadow Form. 2 mana. Your hero power becomes deal 2 damage. Excellent. Like it a lot. Related cards. Mind Shatter. Oh, right. You can get 2, and then if you play the second one, you get 3 damage hero power. Insane. This is actually pretty solid. You might be able to make a Control Priest with this. Discover spell from your deck. So this is basically Shadow Visions, but I understand that you draw the card, not the copy. Lightspawn, 3 mana 4/4 instead of 4 mana 5/5. Seems fine. Probably a good buff. Doesn't seem super oppressive. Cool. I like it. 3 mana 4/3. Death Rattle, deal 3 damage to the enemy hero. Okay, we are getting in there. Okay, interesting. There's tools for an aggressive style priest here. I don't know if you'd want to do that, but sure. I like that the tools are there anyways. Nova's in, unchanged. Yep, still minions. Power Infusion, sure. Ruin, sure. Enforcer, same. Nelly, the same. You have some stuff to do in terms of a curve, and this does have synergy with Lightspawn too. But I don't think it's going to be super... We also don't have Divine Spirit, so it won't be crazy out of control. I think it's fine. Rogue. Stab is in. Prep. Step. Cultist. I never hated this card. This seemed fine. You never really played it that much, but sure. Deadly's in, Sinister's in, Burglar's in. Again, I think this is fine. From another class, not from your opponent's class. Cold Blood, 2 mana, yep. Patient Assassin buffed health-wise. Interesting, okay. Vanessa, this was revealed earlier, BlizzCon Online. 2 mana, 2/3 combo. Add a copy of the last card your opponent played to your hand. It's also cheap. You can play it on curve if you really want to. Yeah, it looks like Abyss is gone, which is probably good. Coldblood is a little more conditional, right? You need a minion that can attack to actually get the damage through, whereas Abyss is just from hand. Vanessa seems okay. Kind of a value card. Decent tempo. Edwin's gone, obviously. I like that Plague Scientist is in. SA7 Agent unchanged. Assassin's Blade. So it used to be a 5/3/4, now it's a 4/2/5. This is much worse. Picture Self-Sharpening Sword, except 1 mana more expensive, and it's a little bit better. Maybe this is fine. Yeah, maybe this is actually fine. Nitro Boost is still going to be in. Deadly's in. Actually, no, this is probably better. Yeah, this is probably fine. Yeah, I know you can buff it, guys. I'm just talking about the initial thing. Assassinate 4 mana. Pillager's back. Pillager's pretty solid. Good stat line. Coin lets you do combo stuff. Sprint changed to 6. I don't know if we're running sprint anymore. At least not while Secret Passage in the game. Okay, they've cut back on some of the burst here. I think I like this. Not too much random generation. I mean, we kind of expected that with Lackeys rotating. Some tempo options. Some good removal options too. Honestly, a lot of a lot of these packages so far seem kind of old school and power level. They don't seem giga busted. They seem much more reasonable and tuned. But that's probably just because we don't have access to all the old classic and basic cards we had, and obviously with the rotation coming in. Hey, it's Trolley Boy. Okay. Lightning Bolt in. Cool. Makes sense. 1 mana, 3/2. Overload 1. Spell damage +1. Sure, I can dig it. Very aggressive. Ooh, this is strong. I like this. So 1 mana spell damage +1 is already really good. So you can use this as just a curve play, and you can save it for burst later as well. This is pretty cool. I like this. Cool. Strong. Adds a bit more aggressive stuff. Nimbus, I like this as well. Bit of random generation, but not super crazy in terms of random elementals. And it's obviously not statted that greatly anyways. Rockbiter's the same. Windfury's the same. This got changed to Overload 1 instead of Overload 2. Probably much more playable. Storm got buffed to deal 3. Like salt instead of just randomly between 2 and 3. I like that. Mana Tide, yeah. Unbound, sure. Card her back in, and it got buffed a little bit. We don't see that many totem synergies here. This is probably not that great. Whether or not these cards are playable with what we understand the set to be right now isn't the question here. The question is, does this core set allow for flexibility throughout the sets? And I think the answer is yes, because it gives you an option to do some totem support. Yeah, I think this is fine. Hex for mana. Rip. It used to be 3. I mean, it's been 4 for a long time now, but sure. I think Hex in here is fine. There's not that much. Lava Burst isn't here. So still seems a bit more board oriented. Looks like there's some removal, but not a crazy amount. So the spell damage, at least right now, doesn't look super crazy. Landslide is something to consider with this. Tidal Surge was changed. This used to be deal for damage to minion, heal for. It's been changed to lifesteal. So if you have spell damage, this can heal for more. That seems pretty good. I don't know if this is too slow, but it's the option is there. There is some healing available. Doomhammer unchanged. Earth Alley used to overload 3, now it overloads 2. Probably pretty good. Fire Alley deals 4 now. Wow. No Bloodlust. Yes, no Bloodlust. Alec here has 6 health now. I don't really care about that buff that much. Interesting. So this got buffed, this got buffed, this got buffed, this got buffed. This looks pretty good. This got buffed. Shaman looks like it has a pretty solid core set. Warlock. Ritual of Doom. This is new. 0 mana spell. Destroy a friendly minion. If you had 5 or more, summon a 5/5 demon. It's literally useless if you don't have 5 or more minions, by the way. It's literally 0 mana destroy a friendly minion. I guess if you have Death Rattle stuff, maybe it's okay. Or if we have enough ways to generate that many minions, but it does not look like at a glance that that's the case. Flame Imp, solid. Yep, I expect that to be in the set. Coil, yep. Possessed Villager, sure. Drained Soul got buffed. It used to do 2, I believe, right? So now it's just 3. Seems pretty good. Basically a penance. It literally is penance. Sure, fine. Couple more early game stuff. Void Terror got buffed to a 3/4, so now it's a spider tank with upside, especially for running Death Rattles. We'll have to see if there's enough good death titles. This is probably still poop. This obviously is acceptable synergy with Ritual of Doom, but it seems real slow. Yeah, this can, any spells can get buffed by cell damage, which means having the lifesteal tag is better that way. Hellfire dealing 3, sure. Felthound, discard your 2 lowest cost cards. So they've changed this. This probably gets better in that. Actually, does it get better in that case? All in all, everything we've seen so far seems a lot more board oriented than over the top burst, which I'm pretty happy. Mage still has Fireball, which I think is fine. If you took all the bursts from Mage, it'd be kind of weird. 5 mana, 4/6. Battlecry, your opponent discards a card. Sorry, a minion, not a card, a minion. Death Rattle, return it. Stat line's okay. The effect's not awful. But it's also not super nutty. Maybe if this had Rush too or something. The effect is cool. I don't know if it's good enough. Siphon Soul got buffed. I like it. 6 mana was kind of a lot to pay for this at this point. And especially if you're buffing Assassinate, you should buff this too. We'll see. Dreadfernal, unchanged, fine. Enslaved Fellord. 7 mana, 4/10 demon with taunt. And it has cleave. This seems acceptable. Very defensive stat of minion, but also has an aggressive effect. Yeah. Draxus. So they've changed this to be a hero card. I'm assuming the hero power is the same. Yep. Weapon's the same. Yep. This makes it look like you just add 5 armor, not you get set back to 50. You don't get set back to 15 health. So that's actually a really big deal. Not losing the health is absolutely massive. Warlock has a bit of some aggro stuff built up. I think that's fine. It still has some control tools, which I like. Again, this is not overwhelmingly crazy. This isn't a new set. This is just, I mean, it's technically a new set. It's the building blocks that we'll have for the year. And the building blocks seem okay. Some control tools, some aggressive tools, some discard tools if we want to do that. Cool. All right, Warrior, Bloodsail Deckhand, 1 mana, 2 in Pirates. This is new. Battlecry, the next weapon you play costs 1 less, and it's not this turn. 1 drop. Cool. Pirate, maybe cool. Battlecry, fire War Axe on 2. Interesting. Shield Slam, solid. Whirlwind, okay. Armorsmith, Taskmaster, Execute, unchanged. Slam, unchanged. War Axe, Berserker, War Cache, 3 mana spell. Add a random warrior minion, spell, and weapon to your hand. This seems pretty fucking good. Again, context. This is basically Hunter's Pack for Warrior. Ooh. After you summon another minion, give it Rush. I mean, this is much better than what it used to be. Okay, cool. 4 mana, 5/4 Rush. Solid. Brawl's in. Oh, yeah. Shield Maiden, let's go. Gurahel and Grom. Okay, so we still have some control tools available here. We have the Brawl. We have some AoE here. Some single target with Execute Shield Slam, kind of like old school Warrior. You have some tempo options available. Maybe there's room for Pirate synergy. You still have a couple of weapons. Some rush stuff going on. Very flexible tool set here. I really like this Warrior tool set. Tiny Fin, XD. Abusive Sergeant, sure. Anomaly got brought back. Okay. Squire, Cogmaster, allowing for some mech synergy stuff. Archer, yeah. Tidecaller. Boar is now 1 mana, 2/1 Rush instead of Charge. That's actually a really big change. Voodoo Doctor, meh. Infiltrator, meh. Young Priestess, meh. So 1 drop's available. Basically just Squire. Abusive if you're running Zoo, maybe. Most of these are pretty poop. So it doesn't seem that there's going to be a super aggressive game plan just from the core set. Oozes in. Cool. I like that. Anoyatron, I really like that they brought this back. Blood Mage, solid. Some neutral spell damage with a bit of a card draw. Pirates, cool. Bluegill, 2 mana, 3/1 Rush. Rip Charge. Alk is in. Direwolf is in. Explosive Sheep, defensive tool. Very cool. Direwolf, maybe Zoo. With 2 more weapon synergy, 2 drops. Battlecry, if you have a weapon equipped, deal 2 damage. This seems fair. I like this. And it's a pirate as well. Works for Warrior, Rogue, technically Hunter, but probably not. Geomancer, meh, sure. Oops. Hoarder, sure. Bomber, unchanged, maybe. Tidehunter, meh. Egg, very relevant for basically Zoo. I don't think we saw any Death Rattle synergy in the course, at least for other people, but Egg, at least having one egg in is pretty good. Croc, some secret synergy. You could run this in Secret Mage, actually. Okay, sure. Toxicologist. This was never Giga busted, even with Kingsbane. I mean, you ran it in Kingsbane because Kingsbane was good at the time. But a bit of synergy. Cool. Brewmaster, yep. Brightwing in the core set. I kind of like that. Some value options. Meh. Are we running Farseers again? We might be running Farseers again. Ghoul got buffed. 3 mana 3/3 with upside now. Maybe you probably don't run this in Zoo, but maybe. Razor Leaf for the Silence Priest we were talking about. Oh, I didn't see Sun Fury. Sun Fury is out, right? Sun Fury is not in, so you can't just taunt this up. I do believe I saw Argus later on, but without Sun Fury and only one taunt activator, you probably don't run this. Ice Rager, Keck, Blade Master. Circle is gone, so this is a little worse, but maybe you still play this in Priest. Owl, Keck, sure. This seemed like a nice defensive tool. I'm glad they brought this back. It's not super crazy, but it's just solid. Mini Mage. This used to be 4 mana 4/1, I think. Raid Leader got buffed health-wise. Probably still bleh. Captain is in, so we do have Pirate synergy available for weapon classes. Spider Tank's back. Solid. Good tempo option. Cogmaster. We have a Neutron as well. Maybe there's an aggro... There's room for aggressive decks there with Cogmaster, Neutron, Spider Tank, technically. Basilisk, I really like this. This is a nice defensive option against big things. I mean, it's slow, but... Baron. I didn't see that many crazy death rattles. BGH, 4 mana. Thank God I can no longer get this stupid guy off of Jandis. Yeti, sign me up. Dwarf. Maybe you run this in the Zoo with the egg. I don't know. Argus buffed attack to 2. I still don't think this is that good. But if the power, again, if the power level is small enough, I think we used to run one of these in Zoo back in the day. Necromancer. This is interesting. More tokeny style thing. This card's not super insane. You might run this in that Zoo deck where you run the 0 mana ritual thing. Not great, but gives you some tokeny options. Having this as neutral still seems fine. A bit of anti-secret synergy. Not synergy, anti-secret tech. Because secrets seem to be like a thing that can be done. Shieldmaster Teacher's in too. Interesting, okay. So still some token style available. Bit of defensive stuff, faceless. Wow, 2/8 Pog. Not super crazy. This is new. Overlord Runthak, 5 mana 3/6 rush. Whenever this attacks, give +1/+1 to all minions in your hand. So stat line's okay. Rush is okay. So you can actually buff stuff in your hand. So you want to have like a deck that takes advantage of this. You could just run this in most. This is absolutely playable. Tiger's still in. Ooh. Tail and Forging, 5 mana 3/3. Taunt, Divine Shield. Okay. Death Rattle, draw your highest cost minion. Obvious synergy with Tyrion Forging, Kick W. Cairn, Pog. Buffed! Yo, was this necessary? Was this necessary? Cairn was already a fucking boss. Dude, we're playing Cairn in every single deck, holy shit. Gadget's still on at 6, sure. White Mane. Was this not a 6/8 before? I think this used to be a 6/8. Oh, it used to be a 7 mana 6/8. Now it's a 6 mana 5/7. Yeah. Honestly, it's 7 mana. The effect is good, but again, we had way too crazy swing turns, so it's very rare you get to play this while you're ahead and make the trades. It's hard to plan for. At 6 mana, it's a bit easier. The stat line's still solid. Wow. This being changed to 7 attack. 7 health is actually a big deal. Ooh, Pog. This used to be a 4/4. Yeah, we're not running this. Let's go for the dragons. 7 mana 8/8. Nosdormu the Eternal. Start of game. If this is in both players' decks, blitz Hearthstone. Are we ever going to be in a meta where we don't have enough cards to play, so people are just running 7 mana 8/8s? Maybe. And then if everyone's running 7 mana 8/8s, we actually just have blitz Hearthstone. Stormwatcher, sure, solid. Champion buff, 7/7/7, sure. 7 mana 6/6 seemed a little slow. Devour, it used to be 8 mana 5/5. 8 mana 4/8 is much, much better stat-wise. It's probably still too slow, but maybe it's pretty good. Alex Straw's a Lifebinder. 9 mana 8/8. Battle Cry, choose a character. It means minion or hero as well. If it's friendly, restore 8 health. If it's an enemy, deal 8 damage. So it's probably a bit more acceptable than the old Alex, setting to 15. This new Alex is pretty solid. I mean, that's fine. I like some change. Malagos the Spellweaver. 9 mana 4/12. Battle Cry, draw spells until your hand is full. I think they showed this at BlizzCon 9 as well. Seems interesting. Again, very meta dependent. Very interesting. 9 mana 8/8 Onyxia the Broodmother. At the end of each turn, fill your board with 1 helps. I like this a lot. The old Onyxia was kind of like meh. It was still pretty good, but you never played it and felt like it was winning the game or anything. This seems kind of cool. So it's basically a better Shuma. Imagine playing Shuma. Oh my god. Hungry Dragon brought back. Cool. A bit more stuff to ramp into, sure. Ysera the Dreamer. This came up in BlizzCon 9 too. Battle Cry, add 1 of each dream card to your hand. I think they changed. So this is the same. Dream, I believe, is now. They've changed these, so this isn't accurate. I think Dream is 1 mana. Return. Yeah, it's a 1 mana sap. Yeah. So these are the old ones. Laughing Sister, I think, was a 2 mana 3/5. Ysera Awakens is, I believe, 3 mana. Deal 5 damage to all minions except for Ysera. Drake is the same, and I think Nightmare got changed to 1 mana 4/4, maybe? Clockwork Giant is back. This is actually kind of interesting. It's not really a counter to control decks, but I mean, decks that have a lot of cards in hand, this could be useful. I don't think we're really seeing this in play. Mookless Energy XD. Deathwing the Destroyer. 10 mana 12/12. Battle Cry, destroy all other minions like the old one. Discard a card for each destroyed. So it's not quite discard your whole hand. It's just based on how many minions you're destroying with it, which I mean, it's just a clear buff, I'd say. I really like all of these reworks, and they've mentioned that they've tried to make these a lot more modernized, I guess, and relevant, which they've done with Onyxia and Deathwing. A lot of the stuff they've done here will lead to a much more enjoyable and interactive gameplay experience for both parties involved, which I think is fucking excellent for the future of Hearthstone. This is also obviously more beginner friendly because you just gain access to some of these core cards as you play and level up the heroes. I'm very happy with what I've seen today. There's a lot of stuff that obviously has been cut. A couple of new stuff that have been added as well. I'm overall very, very happy, and I think that this will be a pretty good addition for Hearthstone. I'm very excited to see this in action, I guess, when rotation happens. Yeah, looking forward to it. Anyways, if you're still here, thanks for hanging out. Smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell. I don't know. Follow me on stuff. Thanks for watching.